All right, well, this is Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube, and I'm out taking a bicycle ride with a new riding partner, and I say new because Marissa's fairly new to buying a new bicycle. There's been a lot of great questions that Marissa has come up with, and I thought it would be a great video or video series on people looking to purchase a new bicycle. This can be a several part series just because of some of the questions that Marissa asked. I'm a little long-winded, but I am an expert on picking the right bike for people or helping people, get the right bike for their needs. I have owned a bicycle shop, Biloxi Bicycle Works, and believe me, I have heard it all. I say owned because I don't own the bicycle shop anymore. I went broke with the bicycle shop, but I did it with a good heart. I didn't sell people things they didn't need, and maybe that's one of the reasons that I'm out of business right now. But I would still love to continue helping people with bicycles. I see what bicycles do for people's lifestyles, and bicycle is a term that used to mean one of two things: a cruiser or a 10-speed. That has changed over the years. So you can see Marissa has picked a gravel bike for the purpose of world exploration and travel. One bike that will do multiple things. It's hard to say to have one bike to do everything. So I'll explain that in a video series coming up, because a lot of people came in to get one bike to do. They want to ride around town, but yet they want to do trails. But they don't want to be hunched over on a mountain bike. But yet, so let's just start with the beginning. Marissa, I say, is new to bicycling, but Marissa grew up in California riding mountain bikes. And I say mountain bikes around town to school on some light trails. And this was 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So a lot of us, we had a mountain bike growing up. I grew up in the 80s, and a mountain bike was that one bike, the Swiss Army knife of bikes. You got a mountain bike and you did everything on it. Well, things have evolved. Bodies have evolved and doctors have evolved. So as some of us had, maybe sore butts or sore thighs or sore necks from riding the mountain bike, things have evolved, like the hybrid bike, which is a higher seated bike. Some people wanted a little bit more efficiency, speed. Some people want a little bit more comfort. Some people want to do wheelies for a long time. So there's several different style bikes. Let me just let Marissa have the mic here for a second. This is an unscripted video. So Marissa has some questions for me, and I'm going to answer a few questions. And believe me, we're going to do more on this series. We can't answer all the questions right now. And I am a wealth of knowledge on this subject. There's some things that I am not a wealth of knowledge on, but when it helping people get the correct bike for their needs, I definitely have a wealth of experience in that, and I want to share that with people all over the world, because I want people to enjoy the bikes that they're purchasing or be able to modify the existing bikes they have. Some of it has to do with budget. Mm-hmm. So with Marissa getting ready to take this worldwide expedition on me, it was an expensive endeavor in the first place, and then adding another piece of equipment added expense to it. So Marissa came up with about a $2,000 budget. She wanted to buy something that was good enough that she could use for years to come. Probably not her last bike, where a lot of people walk into a bike shop don't mind spending more for the bike that's going to last them the rest of their life. But believe me, it's not. Like this is a gravel bike, and I can already see Marissa wanting a road bike, and road bikes and gravel bikes are so similar but so different. So let me just let Marissa ask a few questions on her bicycle journey, and let me go to the end real quick. Are you happy with your bicycle?
I'm very happy with my bicycle.
Did you think that this was the type of bicycle that you were going to get in the beginning?
So absolutely not. I have to say, Bart, you are such a wealth of knowledge, and I am not a cyclist. I like to ride my bike. I've been commuting to work on an e-bike for a while, and then I always had a mountain bike. Like you said, it's kind of the Swiss Army knife of bikes, and I never thought of it that way. I just thought that's all that there was. So when you told me about a gravel bike, my question was, what's that? Why would I want one? You know, and you really helped me with that. Actually, I still think it's extremely valuable knowledge, and I still kind of wonder, like, really why the gravel bike instead of the mountain bike.
Right.
That'd be helpful for people to know. First of all, because I just thought that's the mountain bike is the bike that I could have. For example, I mean, I just want to be able to ride it around as easily as possible through
Multiple
cities,
terrains.
through European cities. I live in the countryside, so there's dirt roads, and I always had a mountain bike. So
Right. Well, and that's a very good question, the difference between a mountain bike and a gravel bike, and why one might be a better choice for multi-purpose. I'd like to start by saying I love mountain bikes. It's probably my favorite style of riding, and I ride everything. Owning the bike shop, it wasn't a bike shop that just did mountain bikes or just did road bikes or just did gravel bikes. We did everything, and I always said any bike, any style bike is welcome to ride with us, you know. So when I talk people out of a mountain bike, it's not because I don't like mountain bikes. It's my favorite type of riding. But I also see people making that mistake, especially, I hate to genderize it, but guys come in, they want that rough looking bike, they want something tough looking, they had a mountain bike and they want another mountain bike 30 years later when their bodies have changed and their style of riding is going to change as well. So mountain bikes, once again, come in multiple different forms. If you're looking at that $2,000 mountain bike, you're looking at something that's above base level and actually made for mountain biking. You know, the main difference in two mountain bikes is the hardtail mountain bike, which doesn't have suspension, front and rear full suspension mountain bike that has front and rear suspension. Now, Marissa was lucky enough to borrow a full suspension mountain bike from me in Biloxi. It was a kind of a higher end Trek mountain bike, a top fuel with electronic shifting, and she got to feel the comfort of full suspension, but we only rode that bike on the trails.
But I love that bike. So I'm all about comfort. I'm not a competitive rider. I don't really care too much about speed. I'll say that next to you if it's okay. But I want to be comfortable on my bike, and I want to enjoy it. And I'll use my bike sometimes to get a good workout. I haven't been riding in groups. I think that's something that I'll probably want to do more often. And I understand that having the right, from speaking with you, I understand that having the right bike is helpful if you want to ride in groups.
Absolutely. And you know, sometimes you think you want to buy a bike so you can go ride around, but it is fun to feel the energy of that group dynamic. And if you've bought yourself a mountain bike, and mountain bikes are good at riding off-road, are good at riding on trail, but they are not as efficient for multiple reasons. One, they're a little bit heavier because they built heavy duty. Now, I say that as I have a very lightweight racing bike, but believe me, just the wheels on that bike cost the $2,000. So your mountain bike is going to have a knobby tire. Knobby tires do not roll as well on pavement, and they also wear out very fast. So tires on bicycles are $100 a piece now. That's a generalized term. You can fact check me, but a general mountain bike tire that's tubeless ready is $80, $90, $100. You wear those out really fast on the pavement, and the gearing is made more for lower geared for climbing up mountains. When you're riding a mountain bike on the streets, you're basically only using a couple gears. Everything's gone one by now, so you don't have a dual speeds on the front, a high and a low range. So you're pretty much just rolling around in the 11 tooth or 10 tooth. If you don't know what that means, just know there's not as many teeth there on those kind of gears that you're going to ride on the street. So when you're trying to ride a mountain bike, and I've seen many people buy a mountain bike and then they try to ride in even our social groups, they're working so hard that they don't enjoy it. You know, and you're at a posture. The mountain bike is definitely made for traction on the front wheel. So you're at a posture that is not that comfortable for sustained efforts on a straight line. A mountain bike generally is built to ride the trail, so you're moving all over that seat. You're not just sitting in one spot. When you're riding on the road around your neighborhood, you're pretty much just sitting on your sit bones. So when you ask the difference between a mountain bike and a gravel bike is a lot more efficient. It might not be able to handle the rougher terrain, but most people are only going to be on that rougher terrain for 10% of the time. Mm-hmm. You know?
I was surprised to learn that actually the tires on the mountain bike are going to wear out riding them just around in the city faster, and then that was going to be an additional expense for the bike.
And it is. And when you're talking about, not purchasing a bike for 30 years and now you're going to spend $2,000 on a bike. And believe me, for those viewers out there, there's a lot of different budgets I can work with. But it's not uncommon to spend $2,000 on that base level bike that's going to last you a while. But yes, the mountain bike tire has a much softer rubber because it's made to grip dirt, not pavement. The lugs are spaced out a lot further so they can clean themselves out through sand and mud. And that also means you're not really contacting as much tire to the ground. So they don't grip the ground as well as they do the trail. A road tire generally is going to be a harder compound, which is going to resist flats a lot better. So that's something that we got in the bike shop a lot, where people would come in with their mountain bikes and have flats because that's a soft rubber. And on the streets, you get a lot of glass. You get a lot of debris that can go through that soft rubber. Usually a road bike tire or a gravel tire is going to have a casing to help protect that for flats. So you actually get less flats on a tire that's designed for the street than you do the mountain.
See, if you don't know, that's just so counterintuitive for me. I would think a mountain bike is more tough, it's more rugged, it's not going to get as many flats.
Right. And it's different riding in a city environment, an urban environment, than it is out on a trail. A lot of mountain bikes are coming tubeless now, where you don't actually have a tube, that you have sealant inside that tire. And, until that sealant really fills that tire up, a lot of times you have to keep putting air in the tire, and then you have the different valves, the Presta valve and the Schrader valve. And a lot of people don't know how to use a Presta valve. And believe me, if you don't know how to use a Presta valve, I've seen it thousands of times where grown men walk in and say, I can't put air in the tire. So don't feel embarrassed to ask the question. I will be doing a tutorial on how to put air in a Presta valve.
Good, because my question first is, what is a Presta valve?
Right.
But I know, Bart, that I'm really enjoying the gravel bike, and you've helped me with a couple of things to actually make it more comfortable.
Yes. Yeah. I have to say, before we go into the comfort of the gravel bike is not your 10 speed. So even though you can see it's got curved handlebars, the geometry of the gravel bike is a bit more friendly. There are race geometries that are going to slam you down a little bit more, but a gravel bike actually is going to have a higher front end. This was bought from a bicycle shop. So in a bicycle shop, you have what's called a steer tube. Steer tube is what lets you keep that handlebar higher. As you get a little bit more limber in the shoulders and the neck, the bicycle shop can cut your steer tube, but you can't add to it. You can only cut it down.
Is that this?
That's that right there. So your stem can't be raised past that without maybe a riser stem or another piece of equipment.
So are you saying that I will get more limber in the neck?
You will. You'll get used to a looser stance. So right now, when you first start riding a gravel bike with drop bars, you're gripping really hard. That's just natural because you're not familiar with that bike yet. So as you're gripping, you're putting a lot of tension on your hands, a lot of strain on your neck, and you're concentrating hard. After a while, you learn how to relax, just ease into the bike, and the bike becomes more comfortable. Now on Marissa's bike, since it doesn't have full suspension, because most gravel bikes don't, we put something called a shock stop stem on it, which actually stops the vibration a bit from the handlebars. And you've got tubeless ready tires on this, so we can run a little bit lower pressure. So the gravel bike is a lot more comfortable in most aspects than a traditional road bike, but still give you the efficiency. Now there's a lot of bicycle snobs out there, and I love those guys because I'm one of them too, but I also understand people's comfort. So as we're on vacation, we're not always just riding this bike for sport. Right now we're riding through town, exploring a little bit, and we didn't feel like putting on all the bicycle kit. The bicycle kit has a chamois in the shorts, which the normal seat on a gravel bike or a road bike is going to be a little bit harder than a big cushion seat on a cruiser. But most of the time the padding in the shorts accommodates for that. So there's something that we put on Marissa's seat for tonight because she's in street clothes, and that's a gel pad. A gel pad is something that most bicycle shop employees are going to tell you not to put on your bike for good reason, because it can slip around and cause discomfort on the soft tissue. But in a situation like this where we're just riding casually, Marissa's sit bones aren't used to sitting on the seat, and you got some little shorts on, which are cute for getting around town. But having a pad that can be removed is key to comfort when riding in casual clothes. I don't have one, but my butt's hard like a rock. I've spent years on I don't need one. But I wanted Marissa to have comfort in her soft tissue. And so adding a pad like this is not a faux pas in certain situations. And that's coming from a bicycle snob.
Well, I hope not, because I have to say comfort is really important to me. And in fact, I think, when you get older, you have your little injuries. I have neck problems. I've had a sprained tailbone. I had feet issues. I've had issues that have actually kept me from riding a bike.
Right.
And because of being afraid, like it's just gonna hurt so much. And I certainly wouldn't have ridden the bike into town this evening without the cushion on it.
Right. And I've seen that so many times where, people have come into the shop and they said, I'd like to ride a bike, but it hurts my butt. And I get it. There's a lot to seats. There's so many different styles of seats for different style body geometries. So a lot of times on a smaller bike, you get a wider seat, because a smaller bike generally is going to be sold to a woman. Women are made to have kids, so your sit bones are going to be wider than a men's. So remember that if you're a small man and you buy a bike, you might have a seat that's too wide for you. Like, I believe that this is a 158. That might not mean anything to you right now, but as you start, men usually is going to go 155. I'm like a 143. And your bicycle professional can help you measure your sit bones to get the right seat. So in general, seats can be quite expensive, and sometimes we get people that want a bike like this with a cruiser seat. Believe me, the bike is your canvas and you can do it any way you want. But that is really a faux pas, because a cruiser seat is made to be a whole different geometry than this right now. So if you're buying a gravel bike and you want a gel pad, get you one. Just don't wear it all the time. Wear it for casual situations. Wear it to get used to your bike. But be ready to pull that bike, that seat off for your longer rides, and put on some gel shorts, some biking shorts with a chamois.
So you don't need both.
You don't need both. Both is almost too much, and it causes soft tissue rub. Another important thing that a lot of people don't know about is called chamois cream, and that's a cream that you put on the chamois or you put on your skin, and it helps glide. So your skin is not rubbing, because soft tissue can rub and cause a lot of discomfort. Sometimes when you're first getting used to sitting on a bicycle seat, your sit bones need to get used to that. Your sit bones will get used to sitting on the seat, but your soft tissue will never be comfortable if it's not gliding. So ask your bicycle professional, or look it up yourself and look up chamois cream. Now, there are some chamois creams that are especially pH balanced for women. There's some that have a Euro style, has kind of a warmth and a tingly feeling. I seem to like that one. Some people don't want any of that. I use one with a coconut. It's made out of like a coconut base, and the coconut helps deter bacteria. So chamois cream is another something that gosh, we can do a whole nother video series on. I'm trying to keep these videos about 10 minutes. Believe me, we've got so much more to cover on buying a bicycle. And I want to go over, we did a video of Marissa's bike buying experience. So check that one out. It wasn't planned out real well. It was just me with a camera inside a bike shop. But there was a bicycle professional in there to help Marissa, size the bike and get it right. Of course, I was there to have her back, and I am a serious knowledge base on this subject. And I don't brag on myself about spelling and world geography and a lot of other things I should know. But when it comes to helping people pick the right bike, I'm going to brag on myself, and I'm going to say I've seen it all, and I try to really get people put into the right spot. And I've had more people thank me for helping them get the right bicycle, including Marissa. Now, we're still getting used to this bike. I mean, we took a ride the other day that was a little bit much, but you have to know when to back off. So when you first get a bike, you might be super excited about it. Don't go try to do 50 or 60 miles on the first day. Ease into it. Let your body ease into it, because I've seen so many people make that mistake. They ride too much in the beginning, they cause an injury, and they hang their bike up. This video series is to help you ride for the rest of your life. It's going to help you improve your life. It's going to help you make new friends. It's going to help your mental and your physical fitness. So Marissa, I thank you for being about this. I'm going to let Marissa do more of the talking next time. We're running out of daylight. We have some things to do, but just know much more to come on this subject. Do you have any closing thoughts, Marissa?
Yeah, I want to say thank you, Bart, because you have so much knowledge, and I had so many questions. It is kind of uncomfortable and a bit intimidating to start out. And like I said, I didn't ride a bike like this for a long time. I have so many questions, very basic questions that for you are completely second nature. And your knowledge and your spirit and the way you share, I think, is really, really valuable. So I'm very happy that you're doing this series to help people, and happy to support on it.
Well, thank you. I do appreciate that, Marissa. And just know, just like the rest of my videos, these are unscripted. So as Marissa's asking me questions without a camera and without a mic, I said, wow, this could be great. So before the video, Marissa's like, well, what should we talk about? I said, look, I don't want to fill your mind. I want you to do this naturally. We just rode a few miles in almost an intimidating situation, because the roads went from a bicycle path to crowded.
Very crowded.
Just remember, it's not all about high performance. Like right now, a little bit lower seat for a shorter ride, a gel pad. Marissa's riding with a helmet. I get chastised because sometimes I believe in freedom, and you should be able to do what you want. I don't want that to be the barrier. I have to wear a helmet. I'm not going to ride my bike. Believe me, helmets are a good idea. I ride my bike with a helmet most of the time, but I do get chastised for not riding my bike. But believe me, the bicycle is freedom. So don't let that be your barrier to entry. I was very happy that Marissa just naturally put on a helmet. Owning a bicycle shop, I saw a lot. Believe me, I've seen a lot on the not so attractive side of cycling where a helmet has saved lives. So don't always follow me when it comes to not riding with a helmet. I just didn't feel like putting one on tonight. And that's what it is. I want the bike to be your personal canvas, but I do want to help you get the right bike to start with, so you don't have to buy all kinds of unnecessary equipment to make the wrong bike the right bike. Let's just get the right bike to start with. And there's a lot of questions that people are embarrassed to ask. You don't have to be embarrassed to ask me. I have grown adults that say they didn't want to take a test ride because they hadn't ridden a bike for 30 years and they didn't want to fall over in front of me.
Yeah, and when we got this bike, I said, Bart, you're going to have to teach me how to ride this bike, even though I've been riding a bike since I was a kid. So.
And we're going to do a lot about that, about gears, about braking. You know, this video series I think could be valuable. And like I said, I went broke to try to help people find the bicycle lifestyle. And I'm not done with it yet. If I have to do it through video, I'm going to do it through video. And we're going to try to find some beautiful locations. So right now we're in Alghero.
You got it.
Sardinia. The sun is set and we're not done riding yet. You guys, thanks for watching. This is Bart with Bicycle Rider YouTube. Please like and subscribe if you feel this content is all valuable. It doesn't cost you anything, but it sure helps the YouTube algorithm see you guys are watching me. I'm gonna do my best to answer questions, but believe me, I'm also on vacation, and I'll get to all your questions eventually, but go ahead and put them up there. There's no stupid question, and I will do my best to answer you in person or make a video for you if you have something. So Marissa's here to help. I'm here to help. I really, truly believe bicycles make the world a better place, and bicycles enhance lives so much, mentally and physically. So more to come on this.
Thank you, Bart.
You're welcome. Thank you, Marissa.